What's going on, guys? I wanted to make this video about sequels and remakes because there's a lot of popular movies that have sequels, and then there's some recently that's got remakes. Some of the sequels are good, some of them are bad. Most of the remakes are bad, but there's a few exceptions. Like examples of good remakes are The Thing. And I don't mean the new Thing, I mean John Carpenter's The Thing from the 80s. That's a good remake. But The Thing is kind of a weird movie because John Carpenter's The Thing is a remake and a sequel. And then the new one that came out, they said, was a prequel to John Carpenter's, which makes it a remake. If it's a prequel to John Carpenter's, it's a remake of the original The Thing from the 1950s, which I like. I like John Carpenter's The Thing, but I think the original 50s version is just a wee bit better. Not by much, though. You can't go wrong with Kurt Russell and Wilford Brimley in John Carpenter's The Thing, but there's just something about the 50s version I like more. There's the sequels that are god awful. And god awful sequels like Halloween Resurrection. Ugh, bad movie. And I did a review on all the Halloween, so you know how I feel about all of them. And I do hate the two remakes because Rob Zombie went, instead of keeping Michael his core as an evil person, he turned Michael Myers into a bully little pussy that got put in a mental hospital. That's not scary, because everybody gets bullied. Big whoop. Oh yeah, I'm scared of a blonde-haired little boy that looks like a girl. No wonder he gets bullied. He looks like a girl. Yeah, I'm real scared of that. He beats the hell out of some kid in the forest. Oh, whoop-de-doo. All someone's got to do when they walk down the streets is knock him upside the head and kill him. Well, Michael Myers from the original version is 10 times scarier because he kills them without a motive other than the fact that he is pure evil. That's it. That's scarier. Then there's the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I ain't knocking Jack Earl Haley, but he didn't do good in that movie. I mean, his Freddy looked like a pizza face. Looked like someone threw pizza on his face and said, "Here, be Freddy." And two, they basically shove it down your throat through the whole film that Freddy was a child molester. It's like, okay, I don't know if Hollywood thinks we're retards. And before people get all hoopty, I said retard. I'm not politically correct, so if you like political correctness, this ain't the channel or video for you. But we ain't retards. Anybody that's seen the original Nightmare movies, all 6, 7 of them, know Freddy's a child molester. You can pretty much deduce it. You can pretty much say, oh, well, he's a child molester. Yeah, they said child murder in '84 because at the time it was taboo to say child molester. But we guessed that. We're like, hey, we put 2 and 2 together. We didn't get Thomas Jefferson. We got frickin' Freddy's a child molester. All they did with the remake was turn Freddy into the friggin' Tattletale Strangler, because that's what the hell he's done. And kids, Mommy, Mr. Krueger molested me. Oh, really? Let's take him to court. I'm sorry, Mr. Krueger can't be found guilty. What? Yeah, not enough evidence. Well, let's burn that sorry son of a bitch. All right, die, Krueger. They burn him. He comes back from dead. Oh, you want to tell on me, huh? Say hello to my little friend, bitch, and they start stabbing him. Really? He's the Tattletale Strangler. He kills them because they tattletaled on him. What is this, 5th grade? Really? Freddy's turned into the Tattletale Strangler. See, SpongeBob stabbing him. Really? He's the Tattletale. It's stupid. Oh, I'm going to kill you because you tattletaled on me. Come here. The original Freddy, why you kill us? Because your parents burned me, bitch. Start stabbing him. That's scarier. Your parents burned me alive. Look here, pull his hair off. Look at my brain. Come to Freddy. You can pretty much guess in that movie he likes children because of all the sexual innuendo he does toward the kids. You can tell, you know. But you're stupid. You know, I'm gonna kill you because you tattled on me. Oh, okay. That's like Jason Voorhees. You know, going, oh, Mommy, he stole my ice cream cone. Don't worry, I'll make those camp counselors pay, honey. And then kills all the camp counselors because they stole his ice cream bars. Really, you know. That's what we've done. We took our icons of horror movie cinema and turned them into a bunch of little fairies and a bunch of little girls that kill people because they tattletale or they bully them. What the hell is this? You know, what the hell is that? Michael Myers, John Carpenter's Michael Myers, and that whole series is scary because he's evil incarnate, got no motive. Hell, look at Dr. Loomis, alright? Michael McDowell is not freaking Dr. Loomis. Donald Pleasance is Dr. freaking Loomis, alright? Two, alright? Nightmare on Elm Street. Betsy Palmer is Mrs. Voorhees. That's Mrs. Voorhees. No, I'm not knocking the Friday 13th remake. I liked it. What I'm saying is you wouldn't see Jason go around killing people because they bullied him. You know, now they did drown him, and his mom killed him out of revenge for killing him, for drowning him. But he came back because he killed his mom. So it's kind of a, you know, and also just stay away from Camp Crystal Lake. Freddy kills because they freaking, you know, the parents burn him alive. Their kids pay for the sins of the parents. You know, it's the Freddy thing is the age old, you know, that old saying that goes, you pay for the sins of the father. That's basically what Nightmare on Elm Street is. The kids are paying for the sins of their parents. You know, Chucky. Well, now they're redoing Chucky. They're making a new one, but it's going to be back to the core, which I'm fine with. And it's the same people who made the first one doing it. I'm fine with that. Just as long as you make Chucky, you keep him the way he was, wanting to get the hell out of the body. You know, I did a thing on that on the Chucky movies as well. I think the Child's Play 2 and 3 are great sequels. But Chucky kills people because he's trying to get out of that body. That's fine. Bride and see the Chucky just started getting stupid. He gets used to being in the body and turns his girlfriend into a doll. What the hell is that bullshit? And how the hell does a plastic doll have a kid? There's no logic in that damn shit. You know, just they take in the sequel and some of the remakes and they just screw the timeline. They're like, oh, we're just going to screw that timeline, create our own. That don't work. Because those of us that grew up on those films, watching them on TV and everything, we know the timeline. We've studied the timelines. We know what happens. And if we see the remake and it ain't right, we're going to call you out and say, that ain't right. That don't happen that way. You know? Scream kept it pretty consistent. You know, Scream 1 and 2 are masterpieces. I stand by that. I think Scream 2 actually is better than Scream 1. Scream 3, garbage. Scream 2 and 4, best ones. Then 1 and 3. They kind of kept it pretty well, the same story all the way up. You know, they didn't, you know, with the fourth one, they didn't stray off. They stayed. You know, Wrong Turn, those movies are just, I will say Wrong Turn 2 is the best one, only because of Henry friggin' Rollins. And you can't go wrong with Henry Rollins. He's a badass in that film. The first one, being a theatrical movie, you think would have been better. It's the only theatrically released one. 3's garbage, and 4's a complete waste of space. And they're coming out with a fifth one, which I'll get because I got the other 4, and I'm a glutton for crappy, you know, for movies, or you know, for shitty movies, and a glutton for punishment and making myself sit through garbage. But if I own one movie in the series, I'm gonna own them all. You know, it's just certain movies shouldn't be remade. You know, the classics, leave them alone. Like The Exorcist. They're coming out with an Exorcist remake. Why? Why are you remaking The Exorcist? You know, all this crap started, all these horror movie remake bullshit started with the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now that remake is a good remake. It's real good. I liked it. But all this crap started with that. And now there's no end to it. I did like the prequel, the beginning. I thought Texas Chainsaw, the beginning was good. But they made a Texas Chainsaw remake, and because it made money and got popular, I thought, let's remake. Then they didn't do. The problem is they didn't do the other remakes right. They did that one the right way. they kept it the way the original was. They had that fear and the aura around that character and kept the basic story. But I think they may have added some other elements to it. That's fine. But with these others, they just raped the characters and changed everything. You know, like I said, Jack Earl Haley, he can't be Freddy. Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger. He is Freddy Krueger. All right? Jack Earl Haley is just playing. Jack Earl Haley is playing Robert Englund. Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger. That's like Kane Hodder. Kane Hodder is Jason. Everybody else is just playing Kane Hodder. Like, example, Kevin Conroy, the greatest Batman ever. You know, a lot of people, oh, he didn't do it. You know, he didn't do the live action films. He didn't have to. He is Batman. You hear that voice, you're like, it's Batman. You know, and I say Kevin Conroy is Batman. And I also say everybody else is playing Kevin Conroy. When you see Christian Bale, he's playing Kevin Conroy because Kevin Conroy's Batman. That's just the thing. There's certain characters, certain people that become so iconic with the characters they play that someone else to play it, it's just, it don't work. It's just, no, that's wrong. That, like Linda Blair. Linda Blair is Reagan, or whatever the girl's name is. I think it is Reagan. And the actress, that's Linda Blair. Whoever plays her next one, that's not Linda. No, she's trying to play Linda Blair. To me, Sissy Spacek, she's Carrie. She played Carrie. They had a sequel, The Rage Carrie 2, which is a piece of garbage, and then they had a cheapo remake. Now they're coming out with another one that's got that girl Chloe Moretz from Let the Right One In or whatever, or Let Me In or whatever it's called, trying to play Carrie. She's not playing Carrie. She's Sissy Spacek. Sissy Spacek is Carrie. You know, you gotta get this right. You know, I'm one of these type of people. If they're iconic in that role, that's who they are. You know, I'll even go as far as say Sissy Spacek's freaking Loretta Lynn. All right, that's why I'll go as far as say that. I'll say Sissy Spacek, that's Loretta Lynn, for God's sakes. That's what, you know. Another example, True Grit, and I did a True Grit review. I ain't taking nothing away from Jeff Bridges. He's a real great actor, but just True. I mean, he sounded like he was talking with marbles in his mouth the whole time. You can't understand what he was saying. You know, John Wayne is Rooster Cogburn. He is. That's who he is. You know, that part was written with him in mind. When the book was written by Charles Portis, as soon as he wrote that, you know, and they made a screenplay, he said John Wayne has to play it. He knew. He wrote the part knowing John Wayne would play it. So John Wayne is Rooster Cogburn. Jeff Bridges is just some actor and a really great Academy Award nominated actor, an Academy Award winning actor, I'm sure, who was trying to play John Wayne, but it don't work. That's like someone trying to play Clint Eastwood. You know, so if they remade Dirty Harry, which they probably will, you know, there'll be more people pissed if they tried to remake Dirty Harry than a John Wayne film, which I think is wrong. You know, because Clint Eastwood, just as much as John Wayne, is an American treasure. And you can't remake a Clint Eastwood movie neither. We're going to remake Dirty Harry. Who's going to play Dirty Harry? Sam Worthington? What? No. As much as I like Sam Worthington, no. You know, it's like Clint Eastwood is Dirty Harry. He is the man with no name. He is Outlaw Josie Wells. You can't remake them. That's who Clint Eastwood is, for God's sakes. It's like Val Kilmer. No matter who else plays Doc Holliday, I always think Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday. Don't matter what he does, don't matter who else plays Doc Holliday, Val Kilmer is Doc Holliday. And there's 4 good, well, I take it back. There's 3 good Doc Hollidays. And Dennis Quaid. I mean, Dennis Quaid, you know, Lord God bless him, he tried. But the movie Wyatt Earp was a Kevin Costner film. And if you play second banana to Kevin Costner in a Western, you might as well just pack it up and go home. Because he's going to try to outdo your ass. Val Kilmer is the best Doc Holliday there's been. The second best is Randy Quaid. And before you say Randy Quaid never played Doc Holliday, check out a little film that was a made-for-TV Western called Purgatory. He's Doc friggin' Holliday. Great Western, check it out. The third Doc Holliday, one of the first Doc Hollidays, was Kirk Douglas, Gunfight the OK Corral. He was the Doc Holliday to Burt Lancaster's Wyatt Earp. He's a good Doc Holliday. But to me, it's always going to be Val Kilmer's like, that's Doc Holliday. Because he captured he looked like he had tuberculosis. But, you know, I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure if they did another version of Tombstone, but had the same characters, people would get pissed. But it's like, well, technically, though, that being historically, actual happening in history, you can tell different versions of it. Although I would still say make Val Kilmer lose the weight he's gained and make him play Doc Holliday again, still you could tell that story again. Then you get into movies that's got sequels, more than one sequel. Predator. All three films are good. I think the second one's underrated, Predators. Danny Glover does a hell of a good job of carrying that film. But the first one's going to be classic because it's Arnold and, and freaking, Carl Weathers and Jesse the Body Ventura. Of course, Carl Weathers and basically is the other main character besides Arnold. Now, so I'm sure the young people, you wonder who Carl Weathers is, all the young people today, that's Chubbs from Happy Gilmore. My generation, it's the Master of Disaster, the Count of Monte Cristo, Apollo Creed. That's who Carl Weathers is. But I think all the Predators are good. Terminator's got 4 daggum movies. 3 sequels. 1 good sequel, 2 bad ones. Terminator, a good movie. I sometimes think Terminator gets overlooked. Because Terminator 2, and I got this, I got an opinion about sequels. There's 3 types of people, movie lovers, as far as sequels go. There's the group that will argue that The Godfather 2 is the greatest sequel of all time. There's the group that will say Aliens is the greatest sequel of all time. Then there's the group that I'm in that say Terminator 2 is the greatest sequel of all time. And Terminator 2 it's the greatest sequel of all time. Terminator gets overlooked because Terminator 2 is so much better. But Terminator's a good film. I mean, it's a character study. Because in Terminator 2, the character's already established. You're like, oh, well, the Terminator, and Sarah Connor, and you find out it's John Connor. But in the first one, you get to know him. You find out. You see how she becomes, and it's a great character study as far as, who his dad is and how she becomes the leader, the mom of the leader of the resistance. Part 3 didn't need to happen. And I'm one of these people, I act like Terminator 3 didn't exist. I think Terminator Salvation is Part 3. I don't think, I say Rise of Machines, no, Rise of Machines did not exist. It does not exist. It never happened. Salvation happened. Salvation ain't that good because of Christian Bale. I wanted Christian Bale to die. When they showed Arnold's Terminator, I was like, kill him. Just kill him. I don't like Christian Bale. Kill his sorry ass. But he's John Connor, so he didn't die. And they turned Kyle Reese into some kind of little smart mouth little teenage punk. I'd have knocked his ass out. It'd have been me, little bastard. The Rambo films. And Rambo's one of those things that's it's got one bad movie. 3. Rambo 3, which I call Rambo 2 First Blood Part 3. That's what I call it. Because let's be truthful. There's First Blood, there's Rambo First Blood Part 2. The third one, to me, is Rambo 2 First Blood Part 3. And then the fourth one is Rambo 3 First Blood Part 4. Now, that's a long-ass title, but that's what it is. It's the first, they call it the Rambo series, but technically it's First Blood 1, 2, 3, and 4. Rambo's the subtitle to it. Rambo 3, or Rambo 2 First Blood Part 3, is the worst one in the series. 2 is the best, and then I would say First Blood Part 4, which is Rambo 3, or Rambo 4 as people would call it. First Blood Part 4 is Rambo 4, but technically it's Rambo 3 because there's Rambo First Blood Part 2, so And then Die Hard. And there's a fifth Die Hard coming out called A Good Day to Die Hard. And I hope they don't do with this one what they did with the other one. Don't make it PG-13. Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Harder, and Die Hard with a Vengeance are rated R. PG-13 Die Hard does not work. You try to do that to make more money, and you lost money, and people hate it, and it ain't that good a film. Part 1 and 2 are the two best ones. You know, I thought Die Hard 4, when I first saw it, was pretty good. Upon review, though, however, it ain't as good as 1 and 2, because it's PG-13. You can't, that's stupid. Why make one movie in the series PG-13 and the rest of them rated R? Sylvester Stallone, I think, learned from that. When he made Expendables 2, he made sure it was rated R. And Expendables 2 is better than the Expendables. So, I think he learned his lesson there. Don't make a sequel PG-13. You'll hurt it because the others are R. I mean, it's like watching a PG-13 Halloween rated PG-13. Why? Well, you don't get to see Michael stab somebody. Shit. Damn it, that sucks. Well, what the hell are we watching Halloween for if it's PG-13? Oh, my money back. You know, that's the logic in that. You know, why do that? But, you know, and there's all these different remakes. Like they had the Total Recall remake this year, which I didn't see, but I watched the trailer like stupid. The original's better. Always will be. Every original's always better. There's a few instances that's different. There's a few that the original, that the remake is better. Scarface is a prime example. The 1930 Scarface, I think it's 32, I think 1930, 1932 Scarface is great. It's a good film. The Brian De Palma version in the 80s is better. You know, and a lot of people don't know that there is that Scarface that people know is a remake. A lot of people don't know that. And I've seen it. And they're both good, although the one everybody knows, that everybody references all the time, is better than the original. Star Wars is one of those films, which you can't really pick a good sequel. I mean, I guess you could pick a sequel to Star Wars, but to me, they're part of a trilogy, and it's a planned trilogy. And to me, if a group of movies are part of a trilogy, you can't pick which one's better. Like Back to the Future. Back to the Future is the same as Halloween 1 and 2. It's one movie. Back to the Future is one movie split into 3 parts. They split it in half. Same thing, like I said in my Halloween review, they did Halloween the same way. They split it right down the middle. Halloween 2. One movie split in half. They did the same thing with Back to the Future. You could probably pick a great Star Wars, even though it follows the same characters. I happen to like Empire Strikes Back. You know, that's my favorite. Empire Strikes Back. A lot of people like, Return of the Jedi, and a lot of people like the first one. I think Empire Strikes Back's the best one, just because I think the Sith kicks ass. But Empire Strikes Back, is to me the best one. But really, it being a trilogy, you can't count it. And I hate the new ones that come out, 1, 2, and 3. They're complete garbage. I hated them. I can't believe I wasted money going and seeing the second one. It's, I hated them. And I'll never own them. I have the original 3, 4, 5, and 6, the original 3 Star Wars. I'll never own the first 3. I'll never own them. They're mediocre. And then you got the Fright Night remake. Who in the hell greenlighted that? Who in Hollywood's always doing a Fright Night remake? Really? The original Fright Night's a masterpiece. Why mess with it? Why put that reject Colin Farrell in it? There's some stuff Colin Farrell I'm sure is good in. I can't think of anything he's great in, but I'm sure there's something he's good in. Leave it alone. Why? Next, I'll guarantee in a couple years there'll be an American Werewolf in London remake. Guarantee there will. They've already did a Wolfman remake. Benicio del Toro was the Wolfman. That movie's bad. I hated it. I went to the theater and watched it. Like, only good thing is Hugo Weaving, for God's sakes. The original Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr. is a masterpiece. because he was the first person to play the Wolfman. He played the Wolfman more than anybody, and he did it better. And he feels sorry for him. And the other one, the dad turns him into a werewolf. What the hell did the dad want to turn him into a werewolf for? What the hell? You know, Dracula, you know, they've made a lot of Dracula films. Hammer made, you know, a lot with Christopher Lee. Some people prefer the, Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola version, which it's okay, but the best Dracula film is the original 1931 Dracula. That's the best one. Come on. And honestly, before people say no, it's not, which Dracula is it that people dress up as for Halloween and talk like? Bela Lugosi Dracula. Every time you hear someone talk, you know, I do not drink wine. They do the voice. I can't do it good. You know, that's my poor attempt at trying to be Bela Lugosi Dracula. But they do, you know what I'm saying. They do that voice. That's the voice they do. Hell, Gary Oldman, who's the shit. You know, he's great in everything he's in. He even tries mimics. He tries to be Bela Lugosi, for God's sakes, in Bram Stoker's Dracula. He tries. You know, and the problem with that movie is there ain't no damn Renfield. Renfield's the best part of the first Dracula, although you know, that laugh he does. And that laugh that Renfield does made people pass out. You know, I love that laugh. And there ain't no Renfield in that one. You know, Renfield, the way he said, I love that. You know, and then Nosferatu, which Nosferatu is the original Dracula, but due to legal reasons they had to change the name of it. And, you know, you could say Bela Lugosi and Nosferatu are the two original Draculas, you know, two best, you know. And then like Frankenstein, you know, Robert De Niro, ooh, I'm a big scary monster, you know, and Robert De Niro, I'm a big scary monster. It's like, no, Boris Karloff is Frankenstein. You know, and yeah, I am biased toward the older films because they're better. I've seen some of the newer ones. They're stupid, you know, and like The Mummy. I've seen the original. I've not seen all of it. It's good from what I've seen. I liked the first Brendan Fraser's the first Mummy, you know, not Mummy Returns, but the first one. It was good. I liked it. I thought it was great. You know, Brendan Fraser's kind of iffy with me, but it was good. And then they made two crappy sequels. Now they're doing a reboot of it, and I'm like, really? That movie's been out 10 years ago or more. And they're going to do a reboot now, which I'm thinking they're going to reboot it, make it more like the '30s version, which I would rather happen. But it seems like to me that the 2000s, the double O's as they're called, have been, the double O's was the decade of the remakes. And this decade is starting off as the decade of the remakes too. The 2010s is, you know, and then it's the decade of the remakes. Because I don't know how many there's been. If someone knows, please count, you know, and leave a comment if you know, or you can count it up. If you do count it up, leave a comment and let me know how many remakes have there been since 2000. How many remakes have we had in the past 12 years? You know, I bet it's a staggering number. It's a staggering number. Because there's a lot of movies that are remakes that people don't know are remakes, and then you find out later they are. You know, it's going to be a staggering number. I mean, my God. You know, Hollywood ain't come out with nothing original. And the reason is they've run out of ideas. I think the writer's strike they had a few years ago hurt them. They do remakes because this little snot-nosed shits of today won't watch nothing good. And yeah, that's right. I called all the teenagers today a bunch of snot-nosed little shits because you won't watch nothing made before you was born. You know, that don't go out to every teenager though, because there are some that will watch older films. You know, always going back as far as I will. I go back to the 20s. Some of them will go back to the 30s and 40s. You know, but most of these little shits won't watch that far back. Oh, it's made before I was born. It's old. Hey, it's a classic. All right, most of them made before you was born are 10 times better than the bullshit you got now. Because all they got now, fake blood, CGI blood. You know, which to me, CGI blood is fake blood. CGI blood, CGI everything. You know, I would rather have an old ass movie with, you know, bad iffy technology and pretty good monster makeup and kind of trying to do the tricks that they did then, and you can obviously tell it's fake. I'd rather have a movie where you watch it and you know they're using something that's fake, but you suspend your belief and they at least use the corn syrup like they did in Carrie for blood over everything being CGI, because it's more enjoyable. If it's CGI, it's like, well, how do we know the actors are really there? That's my thing. Everything's CGI. How do I know that them actors are really there? Maybe you just computerized them in there. Everything they're standing behind is a green screen. You filmed them read a bunch of lines off a freaking cue card you got off screen like they do on Saturday Night friggin' Live. You paid their sorry, spoilt rich asses and sent them home, and then you put the scenery in behind them. They wasn't even on damn location. You know, give me movies like they freaking had original movies, like John Ford and them did, and John Wayne and them did, and Clint Eastwood did, where they actually went to the damn place. It didn't have the comforts of home. They went there, they lived there, didn't have no comforts, electricity, and that shit, had to live like that, and made a badass son-of-a-bitch movie. Case in point, the Searchers. Look at the Searchers. They went to Monument Valley and lived like them people and made the greatest Western ever made. Clint Eastwood, guarantee you they made them movies in Spain over there. Guarantee you they didn't have the stuff they had back home, and they made three great, made the Dollars trilogy. You know, I want people that go on location that you can tell is actually in the friggin' elements and they ain't on a sound stage and gets covered in blood. You know, these little actors now are too image conscious. I don't want that on me. Well, we'll fake it. Okay. Hell, if I was an actor, I'd say pour the friggin', I'd say, hey, take a corn syrup and pour that shit on me. I don't give a fuck. Pour it on my ass. I'd say, go ahead. I don't want to be covered in it. You know, they want to look like I've been beat the hell out of. They want me to look like I've been beat the hell out of. Pour the friggin' corn syrup looking blood on me. Pour the blood on me. I don't care. I'd be covered in. You know, say Evil Dead 2, prime example. You think Bruce Campbell didn't want to be covered in that? Hell no. I said, Bruce Campbell said, cover my ass. I don't give a shit. You know, that's what I do. I say, cover my sorry ass. I ain't too good to be covered in sticky crap that looks like blood. You're an actor. That's what you are. You're supposed to act. You know, they make movies back in the day when it was frozen and they just come out of a river. They had to fall into some water and it's early morning. They're froze to death. They get on screen. They act like it don't bother them because they get in the character. You got these little prissies now. I want my BlackBerry and my phone and I can do that. And shut up. You make me sick, you sacks of shit. My God. These actors now's got it too damn good. You know, Johnny Depp's one of the few ones, I will say, that immerses himself in his movies. He gives everything he's got in a character. And I applaud Johnny Depp because he's one of those few guys from the 80s and 90s that's still around that still gives a shit and actually works his ass off. And I applaud him for it. He's one of the few ones that'll do it. But good God, you know, and even Expendables 2 used fake blood. Are you that damn, or used CGI blood? Are you that damn cheap, really? There's just nothing no more. There's too many remakes, and there's fake shit all the time. Everything, and what I mean by fake, like I said, CGI to me is fake. You know, CGI out the ass, and remakes out the ass. Nothing's original. They don't go on location and stay out in the jungle or out in the desert for 2-3 months like they used to and film it and put the food coloring in there and make the syrup look like blood and pour it on them and make a movie. They make the movie, they're cleaned up and look nice, then they go back to the frickin' computer thing, they go in there, type in the thing and add the blood later. You know, that makes me sick. I hate that. I think it's stupid. I didn't mean to get off on a rant about that, but it's just something that needs to be said from a disgruntled, angry moviegoer that is tired of being treated like crap by Hollywood. Excuse me. Because I pay the money. I want to see something good. I don't want to see, 90% CGI, 5% real, and 5% acting. That's all you got now. It's the same shit and everything. That's why my whole collection is movies from the 1920s to the 1990s. Very few anything I got was made in the past 12 years. because they use too much CGI, and pretty soon I won't watch or buy anything in the next couple of years because they keep using more CGI. They use too much of it. They overdo it. But I want to hear from you. Give me your thoughts. What do you think? You know, what do you think about all the remakes, all the sequels? I'm the type of person I would rather have shitty sequels than shitty remakes. Because if at least you got shitty sequels that are keeping up with the original timeline of the original movies, instead of raping the franchise and changing everything. I'm too old to learn that shit again. I already know about it, and I'm not, and I'm not going to change my mind about it. But I didn't mean to go on a long rant about that. That's supposed to be about sequels and remakes, and I kind of went on a tangent and rant. But that's just me. If there's something I feel strongly about and passionate about, I speak my voice, my opinion about it. But I'd love to hear from you. Leave your comments below. Someone, please, if you watch this, find out how many remakes have been made since 2000 and let me know. Because I'd love to see the staggering number of remakes, if there is a big number that's been made, and see how it stacks up as far as original ideas. I'll see you later.